I got a report that some stupid person's posting crap on the internet.
For the love of money. I want you to understand what he just said. He did not say people that love money. He said people that have a love for money. Now, he didn't say you can't love money, can't get in there, but you can't love it more than God. And when you get on the provider and get off the 50 cents, I'm telling you, God doesn't need it. I don't need it. I'm not after it. I'm not touching it, smelling it, tasting it. I don't even count it. I do spend it to build the kingdom of God, but that's it, man.
And I can now say that my husband, who was not a saver, is now a saver. And I can now say that I, who was not a spender, am now a spender. So he saves it and I spend it. So it's all worked out just fine. I'm not talking about wealth so that I can spend it on myself. And I can be selfish and full of greed and be in that system of mammon. I'm not talking about that. God has to switch us over from the old nature of selfishness, greed, fear, stinginess. Hello, am I talking to anybody in here? Hoarding and fearfulness. I won't have enough for me if I give. So I'd write my tithe out. Then I found out I had to tithe on my gross. Now I'm a bigger giver than Jim. And I love it. I love to shock him. But I get everything out of his wallet, so. God needs churches that aren't self-centered and selfish, but actually have a heart for the poor. That's this church. That's you. Because we're going to receive tithes and offerings. In case you didn't know, we still have to pay the electric bill here at The Rock. It cost millions to purchase and to build this, to purchase this land and to build this building. How to begin to give. The tithe actually disassociated me from the power of mammon and money.
I get some of that money, Mama. You're working hard, but I'm torturous because you're not here. Where's the money? Oh, I gave it away. God's not in anything that takes advantage of someone else. One more time. God's not in anything that takes advantage of someone else. One more time. God's not in anything that takes advantage of someone else. But not to the place where you're taking advantage, where you're actually going to hurt somebody else by getting them in a position and hurting them. When you do that, you've just pointed out the third party of your transaction, and now you become a dishonest scale.
Being a generous giver. It then proceeds to being a diligent and honest worker, because this is about kingdom business, and God cannot get involved in anything contrary to his word. We all have, probably, and some of you very disciplined people. Listen, I tell my husband, keep me out of boat shows and car lots. I can't be trusted. I don't know what it is about a car lot. I want to buy a car, and I don't even like cars. If I go to a boat show, oh, let's get that, let's get that, let's get that, let's believe God. It's like I turn into another person. Say, honey, I cannot be trusted. Just lead me through the boat show so we enjoy it, but don't listen to anything I say, because none of it is from God.
And then God spoke to me, and it just lit me up like a candle. And he said these words. He said, my house and their house. Or what he was really saying was this. He says, if they'll get involved, tell them, if they'll get involved by paying off my house, I'll get involved in paying off their house. Church is going to take that offering, do things with it. But one of the main things we're going to do is start paying off the church. The church spends $85,000 every month on a mortgage payment. Now, if you're going to stay stingy and it's just about you, not willing to share, not willing to give, then guess what? You're going to stay broke. It's about living prosperously here on this earth. Jesus said, I've come to give you life and give it how? More abundantly. Who gets riches, but not by right. See the words not by right? Not by right doesn't mean deceitful. It means not by right. In other words, you didn't get your riches God's way. That no matter where she goes, no matter what she does, she's looking to give something away that she has. In fact, she's given everything I have away. And there's a lot of times over the years of pastoring that people will come and want special privileges with me because they give a lot of money. I don't acknowledge them. Never have acknowledged them. I've never played that game, never will play that game, won't even go there, entertain it, and I've shot myself in the foot many times because I don't play the game. The game is, I'm giving a lot of money, I want your attention. You won't get it. You know, even for me to stand in front of you and make a statement, I can tell Deborah is bothered when I say she's become a great giver, but I do that as an example. I don't do that as bragging. Great givers ought to be examples. And Deborah and I at our age are examples of people who give. The test is, would you give if you never got anything? The answer for 99% of us in here, we don't do it to get something. We don't do it to get the write-off. We don't care if the government shuts it down, closes the doors on. We're still giving to God because the fact that we get the write-off is fine. The fact that, we get all the blessings with it is fine. But if we never got a blessing, would you give? Yes. If you never got a write-off, would you give? Yes. Now, some of you don't get paid except once a month. Then you're going to have to do it once a month. But whatever it is you get between that one check a month and the check that you just got through giving, there might be a little here like there. Ananias and Sapphira lived a double life. They tried to fool the people by lying to God. Doesn't work. And they died. That orphanage, even though it's a great thing to give to and you ought to be given to it, and I'm not telling you not to, I'd like to know when that became the house of God. I'm not afraid of you to tell you the truth how this is. Listen, I didn't write this. Or again, I would be collecting the royalties on this. This would be a great thing. I have the windows of heaven opened up in my life, and I have such blessings, I don't know what to do with them all. I oftentimes feel guilty. My Debbie does a lot of the time. You woke up and you brought your tithe and offering with joy into the house of God, and God, now, wait a minute, you say, what if I do that and it doesn't work? What a great question. What if I do it and it doesn't work, Pastor? Then you get to tell God he's not worthy for his throne because he missed a promise on you.
God said he wanted us to believe, to hand this over free and clear. And so we have a campaign, Freedom for Our Future, to pay this church off free and clear. And we've had a recession for the last 7 years. And they say it's over, but I'm wondering, is anybody better off than they were? There's a new normal out there, isn't there? And even though they say that there is a slow recovery happening, it hasn't happened in our city. And we are all still treading water and believing God. Am I the only one? And he lives a lie. Have any of us done that? Do not raise your hands. Of course we have. We have fudged on our taxes. We've schmitched this, and we've done this, and we've done that. We have. We're human, are we not? And he calls him, he gets busted on it, and he has to fess up. You see, God's not going to let you stay in a lie for too long. It's got to be financed. Somebody's got to make some money, and somebody's got to make some money that's not going to hoard it. It's not how much of my money I'm going to give to God. You see, when you finally get this, it's how much of God's money I'm going to keep, because it all belongs to him. It's not my money, it's yours. It's not how much of my money I'm giving to you. It's how much of your money I'm going to keep. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this done. You little liars. Not me. I'm just like God. I'm so generous. Right. That's why 7% of this church tithes. Please. Can we get real here? Can we just talk and be who we are? Because we are growing in this. If you think I'm perfected in this, oh my goodness. That's crazy. Just ask my family.
Now, let me tell you something. If you don't have any money, why would you have a treasurer? So don't think for a moment Jesus didn't have money. Don't think for a moment that they weren't gambling over his one-piece outfit that he wore. It was the finest material there could have possibly ever been. What about Paul the Apostle? He went from place to place. Man, this guy was everywhere. He traveled all over, took in a company of people with him. Who paid for that? Where'd that come from? Did money just fall out of the sky?
Don't go looking up. Just ignore it.
And he